Welcome to Grow and Give, a modern victory garden project from Colorado State University Extension. We're here to help you learn to grow food for yourself, your family, to share with your neighbors and your community. Napa cabbage. Napa cabbage, also referred to as Chinese cabbage, is a tall, densely packed, barrel-shaped head of pale, thin, upright leaves. The texture is more akin to romaine lettuce than it is to the waxy, firm leaves of the round or Dutch-type cabbages. The flavor is cabbage-like, but it is mild and can be used in a lot of fresh dishes, such as salads. It can be used shredded for coleslaw. It can also be cooked. It can be steamed or put into soups and stir fries. Growing Napa cabbage is fairly simple, but it does take a little bit of time. This is a cool season crop. It is great when sown in the spring, either from a seedling or direct sown from seeds. It needs well-drained but moisture-retentive soil in a pH range of about 6.0 to 7.5. Amend your soil with compost prior to sowing. And if you're trying to grow Napa throughout the heat of a Colorado summer, put it in part shade to help it from bolting in the summer. Here's a note about the difference between growing Napa cabbage and your round cabbages. Napa cabbage is not frost tolerant when it's in the seedling stage. And in fact, if it's exposed to temperatures below 50 degrees for any consistent amount of time when it is a seedling, this can cause it to bolt prematurely. So it's better to wait until danger of frost is past to sow the seeds or plant the seedlings out as early as possible, but right around frost date. If frost is predicted, cover these plants up. Again, they really can't take that kind of a nip of frost in the seedling stage. This is one of the reasons why Napa cabbage is better planted as a fall crop for us. It's because in the seedling stage, if it's planted in summer, it's not going to be exposed to that cold or chilly nip. However, planting it in the summer in Colorado has its own drawbacks. Nonetheless, start the seeds indoors in spring about 4 to 6 weeks before the last frost date. That'll ensure that you have a strong seedling to plant out. Then plant it out at about 12 to 8 inches apart after danger of frost has passed. If you're going to be sowing for fall, early sowing from seed in July is ideal. Early July is the right time in order to assure that you'll get a nice harvest before we start getting some of those frosty nips in fall. Now, even as a mature plant, it can take a little bit of frost, but you still don't want to expose it to some of the bone-chilling temperatures that we can get in October. Plan on about 2 months from sowing the seeds and having them germinate until you can be harvesting your Napa cabbage. When sowing seeds out in July or even in the spring, plant them about every 12 to 18 inches apart. Napa cabbage comes in dwarf varieties, which are ideal for backyard gardens, but there are also standard-sized varieties out there, and they need the space of about 18 inches apart. Once the seedlings have emerged, thin them to one plant every 12 to 18 inches, depending on what the mature size of your cultivar is. Rapid growth is the key to keeping your Napa cabbage tender and sweet. Fertilize when you're planting the seedlings out with a half-strength fertilizer. Alternately, after the seedlings have emerged from your seeds in July and they've gained about 2 sets of true leaves, fertilize with a half-strength fertilizer, then move up in all cases to full-strength fertilizer at 3 weeks and then at 5 weeks. Give them consistent water. It's important that Napa cabbage doesn't dry out. Mulching to keep the roots cool and keep moisture in and around the plant is essential. If Napa cabbage has uneven soil moisture and it can't move water during the high heats of summer, it is really prone to tip burn, and your beautiful cabbage will have the tips of the leaves become burned and inedible. Control weeds to prevent competition with these plants by cultivating shallowly or just pulling the weeds around it. Harvesting Napa cabbage, you can do it a couple of different approaches. You can take the outer leaves, the younger outer leaves, as greens anytime prior to maturity, or you can start picking off and using the plant and never letting it grow to maturity because the young leaves are delicious. If you're going to let it grow into a head, the head should feel firm and dense when pressed. If you start gently squeezing the head because it looks like it's getting ready and it still feels loose, you might want to give it a few more days or another week or two before harvesting the whole thing by cutting it right above the ground level. You'll be removing those outer leaves and using the succulent tender growth that's within. Can you eat the outer leaves? Yes, you can. You just may need to cook them down a little more because they're going to be slightly tougher than the tender heart of the Napa cabbage. Grow food, give locally, support your community. Contact your local CSU Extension office.